Yeah, 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 yeah. I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you lusting is the one you loving?
Government almost shut down. And now that Kevin McCarthy, which is wild, got ousted as Speaker of the House. Never happened before in the history of this United States of America. There's going to be a lot of that. We're going to be saying that a lot. This has never happened before. Yeah. There's this little man, and he's a little tiny man because I just saw him do an interview on a crate. And that's how tiny he is. He's a tiny person inside. He has no soul. His name is Patrick McHenry. So Nancy Pelosi is honoring her California Congressmate, Dianne Feinstein, who is having, I guess she's being funeralized today. So she's at her memorial. She gets a notice from this guy, Representative Patrick McHenry, to come get your ish out of the Capitol. So he ordered her to vacate her office. Now, she does maintain regular offices in the Cannon House office building. He sent her an email, which has been verified, that she had to be out by 6 p.m. yesterday evening. So he said, we're going to reassign H-132 for Speaker office. Please vacate the space. So he's interim Speaker until they figure it out. Pelosi said in a statement that she was not available because she's out, in Cali. So she said, and this is, I think, important to hear. She said, with all of the important decisions that the new Republican leadership must address, which we all are eagerly awaiting, one of the first actions taken by the new Speaker pro temp was to order me to immediately vacate my office in the Capitol. Sadly, because I'm in California to mourn the loss of and pay tribute to my dear friend Dianne Feinstein, I am unable to retrieve my belongings at this time. She added in her statement that the eviction is a sharp departure from tradition. She said, as Speaker, I gave former Speaker Hastert a significantly larger suite of offices for as long as he wished. Office space doesn't matter to me, but it seems to be important to them. And now that the new Republican leadership has settled this important issue, this is, where are we right now that the former Speaker of the House is being treated like get your stuff, come get your stuff, like it's a regular eviction. No respect, no dignity from somebody that's so tiny. I never heard of him before. Patrick McHenry's from North Carolina. He represents the 10th Congressional District since 2005. He's a member of the Republican Party. What is he known for? Let me see. McHenry supported 2020 rule change by the Trump administration, whereby payday lenders would no longer have to check whether prospective borrowers could afford to repay the high interest loan. So he was for the predatory way in which payday lending happened. And Open Secrets found that McHenry had been taking money from Countrywide Financial. We know about the subprime lending debacle that destroyed a lot of the wealth in the Black community. He was involved in that. He took money from them, Countrywide, and he served as an investigation and served in an investigation into CEO payout fraud that was Countrywide. He took money from them. He's a tiny person. He's been Speaker pro tem since October, since yesterday, since McCarthy was removed, and his first duty is to kick Nancy Pelosi out of her suite of offices. Where are we?
What I love about this story, though, is that Nancy Pelosi could have said nothing. She also could have ignored it. She could have went, okay, let me get my stuff out, whatever. But in gangster Nancy Pelosi form, she not only made a comment about it, but then went on to state how them focusing on this issue that is a non-issue and attempting to make this something versus actually doing the job for the people is exactly why we're in this messed up situation. Nancy, in the only way she knows how, took this issue that was a non-issue and took it as an opportunity to make a statement again, saying, I'm still here, I still got words, and y'all's over here playing. But this doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me from the GOP currently. And I'm one of those people, and I have friends that get really mad at me about this. I'm one of those people that don't like to say GOP as a wash and say it's everybody involved in the GOP. Now it can feel that way. It can feel that everybody is under a very specific umbrella and they're all the same, but that's just not true. That's just not true. There are still people who are a part of the GOP that have feelings that are in the middle or like to fight for certain things. Even Kevin McCarthy, for as jacked up as he is as a leader, one of the reasons he finally got is because he was trying to find some middle ground to keep the government open,
Right.
and
Right.
his own people were like, that makes a little too much sense for us.
Right. No, I mean,
so we're just
there was a time, because my father was a Reagan Republican, which is wild, and it was a fight in my house. My mother was like, please stop telling people that. This is ridiculous. They would literally be having fights in my
Right.
house, and I was like ping pong watching the arguments over why, and he was all that fiscal I'm a businessman, he's helping my pockets, and my mother was like, but he's ruining the world, like that. And I landed on the side that he might be the Antichrist as a kid. But I look at now, though, Tyler, I don't think we can give leeway to people who support the GOP, because it's no longer about political ideology. You could have even made the argument that Nixon, who there are a lot of pastors out there and business owners that love them some Nixon, because he was pouring money into the Black community. George Bush actually had whole programs that allow a lot of Black people to buy homes. Like, we can have this conversation. Today is not about that. It is literally about destruction of its power, but it's also a destruction of a whole swath of humanity. And if you're calling yourself a Republican today, you're in line with that. We got Steve Scalise, who was shot, right? You remember he was shot and rescued and saved by a Black woman, one of the people that also got shot with him, one of his aides, one of 5 people who was shot and wounded in that incident on that baseball field. It compares himself to David Duke without the baggage. He wants to take over for Kevin. Like, David Duke is, to me, the grand wizard of the cake. Like, you're telling us something, and they're not even doing a little white power symbol anymore. Calling people Mondays. They're coming out their mouth saying, "I'm David Duke" without the baggage. You're letting everyone know that this is not a game. So I feel like there's too much at stake right now to give anyone a free pass who aligns themselves. Because most Black people would be conservative if not for the racism. If not for it's Scalise. Okay, well, I'll call him what I want to, Smith. I don't care about this man. I think he's a menace. So I'll call him Scalapini if I want to. 866-801-8255. So this is going to be interesting. I hope somehow a few of these same good people that you talk about find a conscience and understand that this is not about political ideology, and go and make Hakeem Jeffries the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, let me say this. I just want to be really clear to say that this isn't a both sides thing. I just want to, and I know you're not saying that I'm saying that either, but I just want to be really clear for the listener that I'm not saying but there's also good people over here too. What I am saying is that there are people who were Republicans for certain reasons, be it fiscal responsibility, be it whatever it was, that have now have their party hijacked, and they're left in a position to go, so what am I now?
You're a human being. You're an American who either cares about humanity or in democracy, or you're in line in a league with these people over here who absolutely stormed the Capitol.
But in our two-party system, it's hard to. I'm making it sound like I don't feel very strongly in a very specific way. I do. Let me be really clear. I do. But I can understand and empathize for an individual that goes, I used to have a home and I don't have one anymore in a two-party system. Like, what does that even mean for that person? Not that I have empathy for the decisions that they're making, but I can understand how they're like, I don't have a home. My home's been hijacked. Because the GOP now is a hot mess.
It is. It's like Twitter.
It's wildly embarrassing.
Yeah, I agree. So so you either form a coup and take it back, or you get in line with people who you may not agree with fundamentally on anything,
Sure.
except
Yeah.
for we care about human beings and democracy, and let's get
Right.
some stuff done. Because what we do know for a fact is when Democrats are in office, the economy isn't running to the ground.
Right.
We are, programs, you may not like all of the programs to help people who are unhoused and who are suffering, but guess what? People with medicine, they're going to drive down the price of medicine. They're at least going to take care of people, and then mount your, the autopsy that was given after Mitt Romney lost to Obama.
Yeah.
Start putting that back together, because there are a whole lot of people out there that would be Republicans and conservatives if not for this racism. So
Right.
let's go.
There's never been a time in history, though, that has been more clear between right or wrong.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you're lusting is the one